See the image works, how this image works. It image call itself in its body. The same thing is recursion. When a function call itself in its body, then it is said to be recursion or a recursive function. How it works, I'm going to tell you now. See, recursion basically, it is a process in a method which call itself in its body. I told you, in a recursive method is this process of calling a function within a function. The same function within a function is a recursive method, the process. And if we have a recursive function in our program, it is compact, means a little one. A code is a little one, but it is complex to understand. Actually, when we are doing things by using for, we don't have that much complexity, but in recursion we have to create everything within a line or within one or two lines by using one is base case, one is recursive case. And when we are using recursion, we have to create a line. In that line we have to call a function within a function. Then that process we have to create in our mind how it works. Means the creation of logic is somehow difficult for us. And you have to know that recursion contains two cases. One is base case. You have to clear in your mind whatever task you are doing, somehow that task should end. Otherwise it works as infinite loop. The ending of that task you have to find it out. That ending of that task is base case. Means the case used to end recursion is base case. Case is recursive case. When we want to continue our recursion, then that case is recursive case. And now I'm going to tell you the syntax of recursion. First of all, recursion, when we have a function and in that function we have to create if condition. You have to find it out in which position that loop, or we can say that whatever task we are going to do, that task should have ending point. You have to create that ending point. Otherwise whatever we are having in infinite loop, same thing happen in recursion also. In one stage comes, that stage says stack overflow. I'm going to tell you later on what is stack and why we are having an error that is stack underflow later on. But you have to keep in mind that somehow your task should end at a particular position. That position is known as base case. Means when you want to end your recursion at that moment, that condition is base case. And when you want to rotate your function by writing function name inside that function name, that part is known as recursive part. When you are calling your function again in your function only, then that one is recursive case. Now moving further, we have a different types of functions, but exactly they are typed according to the categories, whatever role they are playing. In that way they are categorized. If I am talking about few categories, then the first category is the shape of calling a pattern, whether the pending operations are also recursive. Means when we are having calling of a function in a particular way, that calling is going to create a particular tree. How that recursion work, how that calling works, everything is based on the lookwise pattern. Whatever created by recursion, that way is linear or tree recursion. Means linear entry I'm going to consider in this video. First of all, In detailing, I'm going to tell you what is linear and what is tree recursion. And for other categories, I'm going to create later on with the different videos. I want to explain the different categories. One is direct and one is indirect. When we are calling a function directly, then it is direct, and when we are not considering it directly, means we are calling that function from another function, then it is indirect. Still recursion is going on, but calling is from another function, then it is indirect. I'm going to explain with the syntax also. Then we have nested, means a function inside a function, means we are calling one function, but inside that function we are calling that function again, then it is nested, mean function within a function if we are calling. And when we have some pending operation at a recursive call, but the recursion should end in the when we are having a function in that line, in the last line we are having our recursion call, then that is tail recursion, means in the last, if we are calling a function in the last line, then it is tail recursion. We are going to discuss later with the syntax one by one. See, with the help of syntax you are able to understand how these four things works. Now syntax. First of all, linear recursion. A function when have no pending operation involves in another recursive call. When we are calling the next time, when we are calling a recursion, then that moment we don't have any pending work, then it is said to be linear. How it is linear means one by one it is going to operate a work. For example, see, we are having a syntax that function is calling itself in its body, but how in base case they are doing nothing, but in recursive case a function is going to call itself. That moment function doesn't have anything pending, means from here we don't have anything pending. One by one we are going to have our recursion in a stack format. We will store each and everything. Again I am talking about stack. Yes, stack follows LIFO principle, last and first out. First operation will be placed here, the next operation, the next operation, the next operation. In this way it is placed one by one. For that you have to consider what is stack. In few slides I am having a stack also. We will going to understand it one by one. Now see, with the help of linear programs you can able to understand what is linear. And now moving towards tree. A function when have a pending operation which involves another recursive call, then it is said to be tree. How? See, means see the syntax one by one. It is a base case. Else part consider function within a function, means again the same line we have some pending operation. Here we are having a function, here we are also having a function, means each and every line have a recursion call. That is known as tree. When we have some pending operation in the same line, in linear we don't have any pending operation, but in tree we have a pending operation, means some other work should be there after that. When this function returns with the value, it doesn't say that the function is, this line is completed, still we have some pending work. This function should return back with the value, then only it is possible to send the answer. It is a tree structure. But in linear we don't have any pending operation. When we are getting value of this function, we will add it and we will return it back. We don't have any pending operation. But here we are having some pending work. When we have some pending work, then it is said to be tree. When we don't have, it is said to be linear. And now with the few example you can able to understand what is linear, what is tree. With the help of example you can able to understand what is linear, what is tree. In this example, see, we have a value 5 and 5 is moving here, and see the 4 is calling, and again 4 is going to change, and then 3 is calling itself, then value of 3 is changed, then 2 is calling itself, then value of 2 is changed, 1 is calling itself, and then see, when 1 is passed we will have 0, 0 will call itself, then after that we will return 0 from here to the sum range 0. 0 plus 1 is now 1, we will return it back as 1, and then 2 plus 1 is 3, we will return the value that is 3 to sum 2. 3 plus 3 is 6, now we will return the value to sum range 3. 6 plus 4 is 10, we will return it back to sum range 4. 10 plus 5 is 15, we will return that value back as 15. See, in this way we can have our recursion is going on again and again. Means from here we are passing our values, the same thing is going on again and again. We will pass our value to num is going to check here with the base case if it is possible that if value of num is 0, then we have to return 0. If it is not, then we have to return the values, means we have to place num here, and then sum range will work. Means sum range is going to call sum range again with the value of num, and num is going to change itself. Means what we are doing, we are adding the numbers one by one by decreasing the number. If number is 3, if num is 3, we will decrease it one by one. We are placing 3 here, then 3 minus 1 is 2. We are again going to call this function by placing value 2, and 2 is not equals to 0, that's why again we are supposed to add 3 plus 2, and 1 is moving further here, again it is not equals, then we are supposed to add 1, and here it becomes 0, again 0 is moving towards them, return 0, means here we are returning it 0, means total addition we are having, that is 6, means sum of n elements we are having. In this way it works. You have to keep in mind the base case where you want to stop, and one more thing, you want to have a recursive case so that you can able to understand how it works. You are not supposed to use any variable here, you are not supposed to write int any value, and you are not supposed to do any calculations here, because calculations done by recursion automatically one by one. By calling itself, we have operations here. Never store any value in recursion. It is of no use, because it call itself in its body. It is of no use. Actually, each and everything is in the form of stack only. It works like a stack only. How it works, I am going to tell you. See, stack is like this structure. One end is closed, one end is open. Means we can have our elements one by one, but not in this format. We can have our element one by one. We have to place here one element, then we have to place, then we have to place, then we have to place. Means we are inserting an element, that is known as push. When we delete an element, that is known as pop. In this way, system have elements one by one. How it works, when main function call a recursion, then main function role is placed here, then first recursion call, then first recursion call is placed here, then second time it is called, then it is placed here, and then third time if it is called, it keep record in the form of stack. And when the role of third function is completed, it is popped out. It is popped out, and then the second one completed, it is popped out. Then first one is completed, it is popped out. Means we don't have that element inside it, and after that we have main function in last. Means whatever we are placing in first, it comes last. When we are placing the element in last, it comes first. In this way it stores elements in stack. Now the second one is sum of digits. When we are having an element here, Means if I'm placing a value that is 1, 2, 3 and 4, I want to add digit one by one. Means in this way I want to add each and every element. I want to provide the sum of these elements. Means I want to return 10 by recursion. How it is possible to add these numbers by recursion? I'm placing here the if num is smaller than 10, I'm returning that values. Means it is 0 till 9. If I am returning these values back, and see what happened. When we are doing our recursion part, we have to keep in mind that our number we have to divide it on and mod it by 10. When we mod it by 10, we are getting a last digit. When we are having a number and we will mod it with 10, what we will get? We will get 4, and the remaining part will be stored here. Means 123 will be stored here. And again we are doing the same thing by recursion. How it works? See, if I am placing num as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 mod 10 plus sum of digits 1, 2, 3 divided by 10, means the value of 1, 2, 3 mod 10 will be 4. And again sum of digit is called. When it is called, we will provide them the question part. It is called and we will send the question part, that is 1, 2, 3 as num. And after that, num is smaller than 10. No, it is not. It means else part will work. Else part will work means 1, 2, 3 mod 10 will be 3, and sum of digit again call the function. It again call the function, and what we will provide them? The question part. Question part is 12. 12 mod 10. Why we are doing 12 mod 10? Because 12 is not smaller than 10. That's why else part will work. That's why 12 mod 10, what we are getting, that is 2 as remainder, and sum of digit again call the function by providing it 1. Num equals to 1. What we will return? Because num is smaller than 10, the value what will be written is 1. We will return it back to the calling function. What is the calling function? Sum of digit 12 divided by 10 is the calling function. We will return the value 1 to them. And when we return it, what will happen? 1 is placed here, and we will add 2 plus 1. It becomes 3, and we will return 3 back to the function who called that function. And then 3 is going to add with 3, it becomes 6, and we will return 6 back. What happened? The 6 is placed in that position, and when we add 6 plus 4, it will return 10 back to the calling function. Means stack place each and every function inside it, and one by one in a reverse order it works. Whatever we are doing, it is placed inside stack. Means main function is going to call a function, then function is called with 1, 2, 3, 4, and after that function is called with 1, 2, 3, and function is called with 12, function is called with 1, and when we are returning back it is deleted, and when we are returning back it is deleted, when we are returning back it is deleted, when we are returning back it is deleted. Means we are going towards main, and when we work with main is also deleted. In this way, stack keep the record of each and every function, how it works. Now, if we have a Fibonacci series, you all know how the Fibonacci series works. Still, you can see the order. 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 3 is 5. In this way it works. Each and every addition is moving further, and we are placing the value. And we have to do that Fibonacci work. When we provide two values, we want the another value as addition of two values. What we have to do for this? See, in this way, if I am providing 5, you have to keep on going with all these things, because it is tree like structure. When I am providing 5, then you have to do so many things. Means for 5 you have to find the value of 4, value of 3, or for 4 you want to find value of 3, value of 2, for 3 you want to find value of 2 and 1, and so on. In the tree like structure you have to find each and every terms. When I am telling you that a particular term you have to find it in this way. Now see how it works. When we call a Fibonacci, value is 7. What will happen? 6 and 5 we have to work. Now 6, then 5 and 4 you have to find. For 4 you have to find 3 and 2. Now for 2 you have to find 1 and 0. And 0 will return 0 and 1 will return 1. In this way it will return back. The values will be returned back and final value is 13. In this way it works. And how we are going to create a program for that? See, in this way we have our program with us. With the help of program you can able to understand more in a better way. When the value of n is 2, we have to provide a value at a particular location. Means if you all know, I think so, that the series, working of that series, if we have n equals to 0, what we have to return? That is 0. Means in the array locations we have to do the work. 0, then 0 we have to return. In one position we have to return 1, because they are already, we all know Fibonacci series starting from 0, then we have 1, then addition of both of them is forwarded here. Then we have addition of next 2 will be forwarded here. Then we have addition of next 2 will be forwarded here. In this way Fibonacci series is moving. Means we have initial values, that is 0 and 1, we have to return 0 and 1. After that we have to add the numbers. After that moment we have to add numbers one by one. Means the first 2 will be added and we will get the answer. Then next 2 will be added and we will get the answer. Then next 2 will be added. Means in this way we have first term, we have second term, and we will moving further by adding both of them. Now see, in this way we will move further. If the value of n is 5, what we have to return it back? 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. Means location is 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then we have 5 in 5th location. Means in this way we have to provide them value. Means n is equals to 5, we have to return 5. If the value of n is 4, we have to return 3. See how it works. If a value of n is 3, then what will happen? N equals to 0? No. N equals to 1? No. Else part will be worked. See what happened? Means here n equals n minus 1 means it is 2. N minus 2, it is 1. Now see, Fibo call itself, Fibo 1 it's call itself. What will happen? Fibo 2 call the function, not executed, not executed. Both of them will be not executed. Means else part will be executed. What happened to else part? N minus 1 means 1, n minus 2 means 0. Again it is called. Fibo 1 will call. Then what will happen? Value of n is 1. This condition wrong, this condition will satisfy, we will return 1. Means 1 should be written here. Then what happened? Fibo 1 will call. Fibo 0 will be called. What happened? It will return 1. It will return 0. 1 by 1 it is going to be written it back. And then addition will happen. 1 plus 0 is 1. It will return it back. It again the Fibo 1 value is 1. It will return it back. Means 1 plus 1 is 2. And we will return the value that is 2. In this way we have to move further. I think this is sufficient for you all. It is tree like structure, hierarchical shape. It is moving further. Any of the branches, we can have any branches, then that is a structure like tree. Means every operation have some pending work. That's why it is tree like structure. I think it is sufficient for you all, so that you can able to understand the linear and tree like structures. But one thing you have to keep in mind, what is stack. I told you earlier also, stack, one end is open, one end is closed. When we insert element, that is push. When we delete an element, it is pop. Means one by one we have an operation over there. If the base case is not reached, what will happen in recursion? You have to keep in mind, when base case is not reached, means a perfect base case if we had not created, then what will happen? We have stack overflow, because stack have a certain limitation. It is not able to store so many things. Then that stack provides you stack overflow condition. Stack is a data structure actually used to deal with data placed in memory in the LIFO principle based. It is means it is going to store one element at a time, and then on the top next element, then on the top next element. In this way we have first element, then second, then third, then fourth, then fifth, then sixth, then seventh. In this way we have elements. And then see, when a recursive call is made, new memory location for the variables are allocated on the stack. As each recursive call returns the older variables, and the parameter will be removed. I told you earlier also, it is going to be removed. And the recursion generally uses more memory and is generally slow. It is slow in execution. It is somehow complex, and these are the things. You are getting few questions as guess output for recursion in your paper. In compulsory part you are having this sort of recursion. You are supposed to have a dry run. For that you have to create a program. In section B you have 10 marks question of recursion, and in compulsory part you are having third question for recursion, means 5 marks and 10 marks. Recursion come for 15 marks. It is most important topic for ISC students. It is complex, but if you will try to achieve things, you will definitely achieve it. Go with it. Have some recursions. Try to do some recursions. And I am coming back with the next video of the next types of recursion. Now it is sufficient for you all, so that you can able to understand the linear and the tree structure. If still you have doubt, do consult with me. Otherwise, goodbye and good luck.